That looks pretty good.
It was Christmas Day, and we let Sawyer in, and we really didn't know what to expect. Sawyer had started picking up every single thing in the hallway and moving it to one single location. And then my son calls me and he goes, "Mom, look what's happening. I think he's building a dam." Sawyer was found floating alone without any parents as a newborn and was brought to Woodside Wildlife Rescue for rehabilitation. I had never had beavers before, but Woodside asked me if I would be willing to try rehabbing. So Sawyer was my first newborn baby beaver, and I was able to bottle feed for the first time. And it was love at first sight. But Sawyer was very small and malnourished and underweight. Luckily, we did not have to deal with any pneumonia or any issues like that. But he definitely had trust issues and needed to put on weight.
What is she doing?
So we spent a lot of time with Sawyer in our house, making sure he was gaining weight, putting him on the scale, making sure he was getting all of his bottle and the food he needed. And so for us, what we first learned was that he was going to be a lot of work. But Colton was the one who really broke through.
What are you doing? Come on.
So Colton would go and just sit on the floor with Sawyer. And Sawyer would come out of the kennel and crawl on Colton's lap. Colton would just walk around the house and Sawyer would follow him everywhere he went. So Colton is very shy, a really, really great kid, a natural with animals. And I think him being so in tune to what Sawyer needed, which was security, safety, comfort, and a brother, is why they connected so well.
It's time to go outside.
But it was on Christmas Day. Colton was walking with Sawyer around the house. And I looked at Colton and I said, I bet Sawyer would have a really good Christmas if we let him come inside and just have some fun. But we really didn't know what to expect. We had just random things sitting in the hallway. So it almost seemed like he was damming up the area so that he would not need to go back outside. And he would be very particular on how he wanted to place these objects. So it seemed like he had a process, at least in his head, or a vision. The funniest thing that he did was go over to that tree, pick it up, and bring it over to the dam, along with rugs and little Christmas stuffed animals and the very famous SpongeBob SquarePants. So the dam ended up being just a mashup of whatever he could get his hands on. Sawyer definitely made that Christmas very special. Do you think maybe he was playing Santa's elf?
Come on, we're not done yet. We have to keep walking.
And it was almost like, okay, what are we going to do? What's next? What do I need to learn?
Where are we going? Are we going home? Do you know the way?
So Sawyer was a little fireball was so sassy and so full of attitude and personality, but he's still the boss and still in charge. But it absolutely scares me thinking that I just put them out in the wild and they're at the mercy of whoever. I do hope that they are able to be released. That is always the goal of rehabilitation. But at the same time, because we are in Mississippi and beavers are classified as nuisance, I have my own property that I can release them and they can be safe. They are wonderful animals and they deserve a long life. But I always hope that in the future we can change people's minds and let people know these beavers deserve a chance in the wild and we should learn to live with them. So Sawyer definitely put me on the path to where I am today, where I'm just 100% devoted to this animal. Huck and Finn were the first baby beavers that I ended up with ever. Huck and Finn were the ones that helped me really get to know what beavers were all about. Once Sawyer got big enough to go and live with Huck and Finn, they all three got along fine.
Sometimes helping an animal means opening your door and your heart. Sawyer was small, scared, and alone, but love gave him a second chance. And what started as rehabilitation became a real bond and a real family. Even wild animals need safety before they can be wild again. Every life is worth protecting, even the ones people call a problem.
If you are rescuing or thinking of adopting an exotic animal, please make sure to contact professionals and do your research so that they can have the best life possible.